Okay, welcome back, everybody. Okay, let's get moving here. Okay, I'm going to Moed everyone as we continue catching up for the Mishnah Yomis, and we are up to Mishnah Dalid and Hay in the first parak of Moed Katan, pointed out by Nachman Chapler. How wonderful is it that we're learning in the global Mishnah Yomis Moed Katan on Chol Moed, sponsored Lili Nishmas Yaakov Moshe ben Zev, L'Refuah Shalema for Eliyahu Moshe ben Chaya Sarah, and for the schus of Avraham ben Yam ben Ishmael Malkiudis and family. We're also sponsored by the Fisher family, Lili Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Avraham Halevi, Pero Bas Ruben, then Neshama should have a lichtig Gan Eden. We learned, sponsored by Yoel Klugman and family, L'Refuah Shalema for my Shver Avigdor Aya ben Rivka, and for Meir ben Chaya Sarah. Mishnah Dalid in the first parak, Tzodin eso ishus. You could trap a mole. The Rav says that's a tin shemes. It's a mole which destroys the trees. That's achbarim and mice misteho ilan from an orchard or mistealovin. Stealovin is a grain field. It's called stealovin because it doesn't have any shadow. There's no trees, so that's why it's like a white field. It's white in the sun. Kedarka, you could do it in the normal fashion. But Moed ubashvius on Chol Moed and also on Shemitah. The Chachams say misteho ilan from an orchard, from trees kedarka, because it does a hefsid meruba. Or mistealovin, where it doesn't do a hefsid meruba, you could do it only shaloi kedarka by sticking a stick in the ground and moving it around to create a hole that way, but you can't use a shovel. The Rav says, but if it's a stealovin near a stealovin, then you can do it in a normal way because it'll move from the grain field to the orchard. And umekarin es apirtza b'mayid, umekarin, you could close temporarily a breach in a field on the mayid, but you can't build a wall with cement, a rock wall with cement, or b'ashvias, but on Shemitah, where there's no problem on Malacha, by Kedarka, you could build it in the normal way, the thieves shouldn't come in. Rameir says, Royan es hanegoim betchila lahakel. On Chol Moed, a kohen could look at leprosy in order to say that it's tar, because then he gives the person the simchas Yom Tov that he knows that he's not facing tzaras. But he can't paskin that it's tzaras, because then of course he's going to have to go out from the camp, and it's going to be it's going to deter the simchas Yom Tov. So then he defers the psak till after Yom Tov. The Chacham say, if the kohen is going to see it, then if it's saras, he has to say it. So the kohen doesn't look at it at all until after Yom Tov. The Oidam Rameir, Malakid Odam Atzmas Ovi V'imai, if a person was buried in a temporary grave and then later was to be exhumed to be put in the family plot, they could exhume the body on Chol Moed of his parents to put it in the family plot, because it's a simcha that his parents are joining the Makayim Avosav, their ancestors. Rabbi Yossi says you can't do it because by digging up his parents' remains, it causes him grief, and you're not allowed to do that on Chol Moed. Also, a person can't hire someone to rev up after a person dies. A person can't hire someone to gotta mute people over here. A person can't hire someone to remember and rev up people's emotions about the loss. V'lo yaspidenu, nor can they make a eulogy within 30 days of the regel, because the grief that's caused and the awakened feelings of sorrow that's caused last 30 days, and it's going to encroach into the regel. Wow, Rabbi say, what a way to spend a Motzei Yom Tov, an hour and a half of delightful learning together. It wasn't easy. The daf was not easy. I want to thank you all for joining us and remind you tomorrow night about 8:05, 8:07, I'll start setting up after Mariv, and also remind you that we are looking for a sponsor for this week's share, 718-916-3100, rmmwsi@aol.com. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a truly good Moed.